So it's been 3 days of mourning Captain Adam Mahama, who was lynched in Denchira, Obuasi. There's still investigations going on, and we'll be updating you on all the investigations, all the things that the police have gathered. We'll be going live on the ground and speak to my colleague Ohiming Teria on this. But for now, the insensitivity and the spread of videos and pictures of the late Captain Mahama is not making things any better for the family, loved ones, and Ghanaians in entirety. Joining me in the studio to speak on this is Maximus Ametogo, who is a social media strategist. That's right.
Yes.
All right, you're welcome on the
Thank you very much.
So we know that it's unlawful to share some of these things, this insensitive videos, this insensitive pictures on social media, but people still do it with impunity. And so there are concerns that in times like this, social media causes more harm. You agree?
Yes, of course. A lot of Ghanaians, I think the social media users must be sensitive. Some people think they are creating awareness by sharing the video. Meanwhile, they are rather creating trauma for the families and friends on the platform. So sensitive content must be kept private, and people's rights to privacy must be respected. So I don't think sharing videos of a dead person or somebody being brutalized is right. And the platforms frown on that. The social media platform do not allow the sharing of graphic content. But it depends on who will report it, because Facebook, for example, about 2.5 billion contents are shared every 24 hours. So you have to take somebody who sees the content, report it to Facebook, then the system flags it for them to pull it down.
And that hasn't been done? Nobody has reported?
Some have done. They've sent me some links that I've also reported. So we're just waiting for Facebook to pull some of those content down.
In as much as the law is not friendly on this, sometimes it's difficult to control some of these things. I mean, how do we do it? How can social media control some of these things? Yeah,
the abuse can be avoided when people are educated, right? Social media is neutral in terms of its effects, but it's those who use it who abuse it. I see social media like just the knife that you have. You can use it to cut tomatoes, or you can use it to harm somebody.
Definitely.
But it depends on the user. So we need to educate people as to why the do's and don'ts of using social media. So things that are very private and personal to somebody should not be shared on your page because you think you are creating awareness, or you want to elicit sympathy for somebody. So you are sharing his picture or video which shows him being brutalized. It's not sensitive, it's inhuman, I don't want to use some words, but it's madness to go and share a friend's video because you want to solicit for sympathy for the friend. It doesn't make sense. I don't need a dead person's video or how they died to sympathize with the person. So the human aspect is there. If on my Facebook page, on Twitter page, everybody who shares it, I hide your post. When you hide your post, even Facebook reduces how they even expose your content to people. And I report some of them, and they are being pulled down. Individuals must do same. Social media has very huge benefit, and it shouldn't be abused. Because the same people, if government says they are going to block social media, will not be happy. Right, so don't go sharing somebody being brutalized or the action of a few people who have gone mad by the roadside, and you want to use that to solicit for sympathy for that. It's not needed. You should respect the sensitivity of the family and friends.
We know the police are worried as much as the family, and every Ghanaian is worried about the sharing of videos of this man who has been brutalized. And I tell you, it's not a pleasant sight to see that video. And it shows that anybody who the police lays hands on doing such things could face some some charges and over. How do we ourselves protect ourselves, we as individuals, so people don't even create problems for us? I won't post that video on my platform or on my post, but somebody else can tag me and probably get me in trouble.
Yeah, so as for they can tag you, so you can also report, right? The police should be able to do that. But I expect police to have an effective online presence on the various social media platforms. So we see contents like this, we can flag it to them for them to take action on it. They should have special arrangements with some of the social media platforms so that when the violent or graphic content like this is shared on the platform, somebody reports it, they can equally push it to the respective authorities to take action, because platforms must be governed or must run by the laws of the particular country those platforms are on. Facebook, they are not laws unto themselves. So if you have a law enforcement agency in Ghana telling you to pull a content down which is against our law or is graphic or it shows somebody being brutalized, they will be forced to do that.
Now, a lot of bedding has come on government because everybody, including the family of Captain Mahama, is calling on government to do something about this video sharing, this insensitive pictures of this man on social media. You are a strategist. How can government handle this problem? Because I know handling social media is not an easy thing.
Yeah, for me, to be frank, I was expecting the Minister of Interior or the Minister of Defense or whichever authority is in charge, possibly the President, doing a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live or a Twitter Live to speak against this particular thing which is being shared on social media. It's not being fair to the families, it's not being fair to the friends. So we need authorities to use the same platform to speak against it. And there should be a massive nationwide campaign against mob action or mob justice. Justice does not lie in the bosom of the mob. It lies with the state. And I expect the state institutions to take the right action with some sense of urgency.
And what have you, the technical people, what have you done so far? You said you've reported some cases to Facebook.
Yes.
What else have you done to help curtail this on social media?
I've been posting since morning about the same thing. The fact that our basic instinct to be human is too basic. We don't show that sense of humanness in sharing content. The captain can be yourself maybe the next time. We are building a culture where people don't see to reason, right? We are building a culture where people don't let law enforcement agencies do their work. I've been sharing those contents. I've shared over 8 of them since morning, and I've been quite angry sharing some of them.
And what has the response been like? Are people responding positively?
People are sharing it. People are also commenting. Some are even tagging me. Can you believe that between yesterday and today, about 2 people or 3 people have been lynched again?
Yes.
Yes. So it means that upon all the sharing and the news, nothing has changed. So if Dr. Otabil says the instinct to engage in mob justice is cultural, it means that the people must be reoriented. People's mindset about enforcing justice when it's not your role to do must be changed.
It's amazing, but the bottom line is social media is here. We've all jumped to it, and in fact people sleep there.
Yeah. People
cannot do without social media for a minute, for a second. So what do? Should we stop this social media craze at all? Because even though it has some positive impact, it's also affecting us negatively in a lot of ways.
I think it shouldn't be blocked, right? Because if you look at the percentage of people who even share the content as compared to 4.5 million Ghanaians on the platform, you could see it's not even, you could even say they are even within 1%. So we should self-regulate, right? If I see any content that is not good for the platform for others to see, I'll report it to Facebook and they will block it. So we need to do peer review on those platforms. We should be each other's keeper, right? So if somebody calls me and sees a particular content, they send it to me, I quickly send it, report it to Facebook and have the content blocked. So we should be doing that, because the next time it can be your mother or your father or your brother or yourself So let's be sensitive. Social media shouldn't be blocked. Social media is just like any media, even though the traditional media is more controlled, right? There's no way a traditional media person will go and pick a camera and put it on somebody being mobbed, right, or being beaten illegally, because you have protocols for producing content. Social media, the people must be educated to do that. And for me, I think your organization must also put up some banner on your website or your social media platforms instructing people to stop mob justice. That's another way of contributing to the same.
All right, let's cross over to Parliament, where my colleague Joseph Opoku-Gakpo is standing by. Good afternoon to you, Opoku-Gakpo. How are members of Parliament responding to this issue?
And so they've mainly been condemning the attacks on Captain Adam Mahama, which actually led to his death. What you're discussing in relation to the issue of social media and how the video circulating on social media is something that is not helpful is also one of the issues that some of the members of Parliament who spoke on the floor raised about the whole issue, and drew attention to the fact that Captain Mahama has family people, and so obviously they would be, reading what's happening on social media. They'll be watching what's out there, and so in order to be sensitive enough to these family people of Captain Adam Mahama, there is the need for all to desist from this act when it comes to circulating videos of his attack on social media.
And what has the speaker been saying to this?
And so, mainly the conversation was about the need to ensure that those who were responsible for this act are actually brought to book. Ras Mubarak, with a member of Parliament for Kumbungu, delivered a statement on the floor and indicated that Captain Maxwell Mahama's death is not something that should be treated as a usual thing, and that the police should hands down those responsible. There were contributions from other members of Parliament. The MP for Ofuasia Irebi, Kojo Ponkruma, who is also the Deputy Information Minister, also made a point that those responsible should actually be brought to book. And he actually made a call on the Ghana Police Service that the arrests that have been done, they should ensure that they do proper investigation so that when they go to court, they'll be able to secure a conviction for those responsible. And he threw in a very interesting bit, making the point that he would want the trial of the persons involved to be broadcast live on national television, because he thinks that in doing that, he would be able to create a situation where it would serve as a notice to anyone who may want to involve in some of these activities. It would serve as more like a deterrent to them. So he called on the House to actually do that. But eventually, the Speaker asked that the House observe a 1 minute silence for Captain Maxwell Mahama, which the House did. There was also talk about the need for government to set up a scholarship scheme. This came from a member of Parliament for Busa South in Sagaga, that government sets up such a scholarship scheme to take care of his 2 little children up until they get to the university level.
Are they seeing reason to pass any law to regulate activities on the social media?
Well, not exactly on the social media bit, but one of the members of Parliament drew attention to the fact that on the other bit having to do with mob justice, we've seen a situation where there isn't a categorical law that deals with the issue of mob justice. The member of Parliament for Asante Achimnos indicated that when anyone is arrested for engaging in these kinds of acts, they are tried when it comes to, prosecution having to do with assault. But he was asking that the House should consider passing a law that will make mob justice itself an act that is actually contrary to the provisions of the law, so that then people who are arrested in connection with it can be dealt with using specific provisions of the country's law.
All right, many thanks to you, Joseph Opoku-Gakpo. We'll still come back to you for more in our subsequent bulletin. You heard my colleague. Members of Parliament are also worried in this situation, and they are looking at a bigger picture of how culprits can be arrested to curb some of these things. Do you agree that we need a law that can bite very hard to be able to check some of these things?
We need that, so that nobody will have the impunity to even share any content, because every content you're going to share becomes an evidence against you. So the law enforcement agency can use your post as evidence against you to prosecute you. So we need that.
What should be entailed in such a law?
Yeah, so don't share graphic information that is personal to somebody. If you share mob related content or mob justice related content is tantamount to, you promoting it. So we need some lines like that in it. Just like the platform will say that you can't use WhatsApp to promote child pornography. It's there.
Yeah.
So you can't say because somebody's child was raped, you are trying to solicit for sympathy, so you are sharing it on social media. You are promoting it. So the same thing, anybody who shares such content is promoting the act, and they must be, the law must bite at them.
What would you say about social media generally today? Is it doing a lot of good than harm, or what would you say? Or it's 50-50?
Yeah, there's a greater balance of good over the harm that is causing. Just a few people who are abusing it. People are using it to sell, people are using it to market their product. I've seen a lot of companies who are using social media plus mobile money to sell products, and they are making money, and they are employing a lot of people. So we can't say it's bad to the extent that it has to be banned because some few people have abused it.
So we need to just check and straighten it and make it better.
Yes.
All right, many thanks to you. Maximus
you
Ametogo is a social media strategist. He's been sharing with us that social media indeed is doing a lot of good. A lot of people are marketing their products. We're having a lot of businesses using social media to do business, but some people are abusing the technology. He wants some biting laws passed by Parliament to check these people.